Hello there, and welcome to Gaming Takes Ages. I am Teal.
And I am not Teal.
That's true.
I'm in fact Emil.
Hooray!
And together we are joined by Glue. Glue has joined our bodies together.
Friendship
If
glue.
you're wondering how we're joined, we are joined ass to ass. And if you're wondering why we have different backgrounds, if you're watching on YouTube, well, one of us is suspended from the ceiling, and the other person is upside down, and we have two backdrops that make it look like we are
Yeah.
just, sitting normally. So
Loads of
it's up to
people on
you
my
to figure
channel.
out who is upside down.
Loads of people on my channel asked if I was Australian, so me being upside down would make so much
Ah,
sense. um, but
yeah.
I'm not.
The most logical thing is that we are glued ass to ass, and you are upside down, and
Yeah.
I am suspended from the ceiling.
Yeah.
That's normal.
I
That's a
think.
normal
Yeah.
conclusion to come to.
Mates. They go to the pub. They connect ass to ass. They.
Yes.
It's
Well,
just.
sometimes it's an accident. Sometimes one of you sits in some glue, and then sometimes the other person sits in some glue, and sometimes you sit on each other's butts, and
Yeah.
then how do we get here? Just like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
And
that's my way of saying we have no guest
I
today.
think my life has been more enriched by being connected to your ass. I can't
Yes.
speak for you, but
I think most people would say
uh
such a thing
yeah,
about my ass.
no,
Yeah, we have
yeah,
no
it's
guests. It's just
specifically
us
yours.
and some glue.
Yeah, cool. Well, what have you been playing this week, if anything?
I play some games with you, you silly bean.
That's true. We did play some
We
games.
played together. What did we play? We played Gothic Phone.
Yes,
Love Gothic Phone.
God,
Always fun.
it's one of
We
my
made some
favorite games of all
monstrosities.
time. I think.
It's a good one.
Yeah,
Um,
it's just
we made some
chaos.
very particularly horrifying monstrosities this time. I think more so than ever.
Yeah, we did. We did Christmas stuff. We also created some very weird stories because it's not
Yes.
just
Yeah, the story mode on there is quite good. If you
yeah,
played, because I think a lot of people played Gothic Phone sort of near the start of the pandemic, but probably not so anymore. They keep adding modes to it, and
yeah,
there's a Exquisite Corpse mode, which I love because I've always loved playing Exquisite Corpse on paper. If you don't know, that's the heads, bodies, legs game where one person draws a head, and the next person draws a body, and then the next person draws legs. Um, but yeah, it works very well on there. And then they have a story mode, which is just writing, and it's hilarious. It's always
it
hilarious.
really is. Yeah, yeah. Because I mean, the thing is, like, you don't really know what the previous person has been given for the story, and it's just everyone is so different usually.
I could read you one of the stories right now.
Go for it.
Let's find one that is maybe appropriate.
Yeah, there were some which were just diabolical. Um, well, whilst you look for that, I've been playing Yakuza Like a Dragon. Yeah, just like Arctic Phone. Almost exactly the same. But no, it was requested on the Patreon. But that is my next playthrough, and it is. Oh, it's so good. It's so fun. Yakuza games are just phenomenal anyway, but it's a soft reboot of sorts. Um, it's not the seventh entry. It's like the 10th, but it's by all intents and purposes Yakuza 7. And it's yeah, new protagonist, new city. It's turn based instead of action combat, and it works really well. It shouldn't, because it's a very different vibe, but it works, and it's just absolutely bonkers and intense and amazing. And if you've never played a Yakuza game, I fully recommend it. I think a good starting point is Yakuza 0, because it is the first game. It's not. The first is Yakuza or
Cannot
Kiwami.
chronologically. I couldn't
Yes,
think of that word.
chronologically it's the first. But it's I some people would argue Kiwami is /1 is the one you want to do first and then go to 0. I think 0 was my first, and I think Kiwami was actually enriched for me personally by playing 0 first. But I can see the argument one way or the other. But yeah, they're such great games, and Zero is actually getting an update with a full English dub, which is really cool.
Yeah, bacon,
So
eggs, hash browns, beans,
yeah,
black pudding,
yeah, all of that.
a full English dub.
Yeah, you can you can get that.
Sorry.
You can find that in any of the restaurants around Shinjuku. No, it's great. It's genuinely really cool. I'm looking forward to actually playing it again at some point with an English dub, a full English, obviously.
I'm never gonna hear that phrase the same again now.
Yeah. Please tell your Gartic story.
I can't. None of them are appropriate.
Okay. Really? Not one? Okay. Cool. I guess to explain Gartic Phone in its like most conventional sense for those who don't know is you draw a thing that say it's a group of 5 people. You all draw a thing, someone else gets your drawing and they have to write. No, sorry, it's a prompt first. Then you draw that prompt. Then you write down what you think that drawing is, and then the next person gets that prompt. You draw it. Then you write down the drawing. The cycle goes on and it's just absolute chaos. The thread might continue in a natural way, and you'll just keep drawing and writing the same thing what was intended by all. That does not happen often, so it's pretty good. It's a fun time.
Yeah,
I enjoy
it's a
it.
game called Telephone, I think they call it in the States anyway. Like a children's game. We called it Chinese Whispers, which I think is probably not an appropriate name.
Yeah,
Though I
no.
don't know. I've
I'm
never
not,
looked
I'm
into
yeah,
it,
I've not
but I
looked
wouldn't
into it.
imagine so.
No. But yeah, that was what it was referred to at the time, when we were children at least.
Yeah. There's a
I
lot of that going on.
it was
A lot of
more
things from your childhood
I'd say
that turn out
it
to
was
be.
more a primary school name than a secondary school.
Well, you don't really play it in secondary school.
Yeah, well,
That's why.
yes, I suppose. But like, but even in like, like as a term, it didn't really come up anywhere.
We used to play it under the parachute. Do you remember the parachute? Do you remember the parachute
So,
teal?
so here's how. Do you saying that because you remember that I did not experience the
Oh no,
parachute?
I'm sorry.
I have
I
told you
forgot.
this. No, you've told me about the parachute, and I was like, "What are you talking about?" That was not a
No,
thing,
I don't
either
remember this
in
at all.
Jersey or in my school. I don't know which. The parachute was not a thing. I know of the parachute now, which is like it's a big parachute and you run under and like you're
I wonder if
holding
this
it.
is just a UK thing,
I've no
but like a
idea.
lot of schools or youth clubs or something, they will have a really big parachute. If you've never seen a parachute before, they're much bigger than you'd think. So
Mm.
you can fit a whole class of children underneath one, and there's loads of games that you can play that are specific to a parachute, sort of like a trampoline. There's a lot of trampoline-based games that you can play. So it would always be in primary school. It'd be like, "Oh, they're getting out the parachute," and it'd be like, "Yes, the parachute!" And
Okay,
the
I need
joys
to
of
know.
childhood. But I think you probably only fit like 10 adults under a parachute at this. If we tried it now,
I need to know, was this something you did in PE or was it
I don't remember.
okay?
No, I don't. I was too young. It was a
Yeah,
young kid thing,
fair enough.
but a very
Although I
formative part
suppose
of the UK
in
childhood.
primary school it technically wouldn't be relevant because it's not like your secondary like, oh, I'm going to maths, I'm going to English, I'm going to PE. It's all in one
Yeah,
class.
you do it all in one
I
class. Yeah.
suppose it technically doesn't matter. It could be it's just you just do it whenever, I suppose.
I guess it was PE.
I don't know, could have been just a
I don't
treat.
know.
But fair enough. Thank you. I love learning about either weird or non-Jersey traditions, or just non-my school, which is unfortunate. But 'tis the way. Well, every week we like to present something to those wonderful little ancients. They might not be little. We don't know what they look
We
like.
don't we don't know anything about them.
No, we just
Just know so far they have not allowed some things.
yeah, and eventually, maybe we'll finally work out what they want. I don't know.
Yes.
Will we?
That's the
Uh,
hope.
yeah. Well, I don't mind who goes first. I'm happy to go first. I would like to tell a story.
Tell us a story,
I'll tell
Teal,
you a story.
for the
So,
ancient.
So, I don't know if I've told you this story or not. I might have. Either way, I think it's great. So, I used to be part. I was in Jersey. Used to be part of the Jersey Arts Centre Youth Theatre, and we did two plays a year. It was went from usually around August until April, and we would perform in April. And then there was a shorter play that we would do in around July, which went from like uh, beginning of May until July, maybe sometimes early August. And it was just a lot of fun. It was a good time to just learn and be with friends and I learned so much being part of the youth theatre. It was wonderful. One of the plays we did was a play called Attempts on Her Life by Martin Crimp. And I'll just give you a brief excerpt of like the summary. It's a Attempts on a Life by Martin Crimp is at turns hilarious and shocking, a roller coaster of 20th century obsessions from pornography to ethnic violence and terrorism to unprotected sex. It's 17 different mini unconnected scenes, but all centered around the character Anne. To be clear, we did not do all of them because it is
Yeah, I was
the
gonna say, you said this was
um,
youth theatre,
so
right?
I will expand upon this as the youth theatre. It was ages 14 to 18 typically, and some of the subject matter we did cover was dark, and I mean, and that kind of I would extend that in some cases to stuff like Shakespeare's The Tempest. There are and other works of Shakespeare. There are dark pieces of subject matter within a lot of those plays, and I think at age 14, again, we didn't cover it all, but like at age 14, you know a lot. It's not
Hmm.
new to
Yeah.
you. And
And at the same time, you know so little.
yes, okay, true. But like it was one of those things where you've either seen things or you've talked about it with friends and family or you've heard just teachers or people in the street talking about random stuff that you like a kid shouldn't like hear or whatever. So it's like it was one of those things where we would cover dark subject matter, but it wasn't too dark. And it was one of those things as well where we always asked permission for parents. So if it was like, okay, we're not going to cover this, we know from the offset we're not going to cover this facet of it if it's too dark, but ask, is anyone uncomfortable with this? And the answer was typically no, because we always had trust in ourselves and our director to always toe the line well. But anyway, we performed this particular play at a hotel in Jersey called the Grand, and it was really cool of them to let us perform it there. There was like 9 or 10 very different rooms on the bottom floor, and we would do a different scene in each room. Um,
Hmm.
it was really really cool. I love that we did a bunch of stuff like that. We did a play called Million Tiny Plays About Britain, which was written by someone who just overheard different conversations in cafes and stuff, and it's so funny and it's so real. And we performed that in the bus station. It was really cool. But anyway, so one of the plays, one of the scenes, one of them was with me and a friend called Lucy. And my memory of this is super hazy because I haven't done this in over 15 years. But I think we were a snobby married couple discussing how Anne doesn't do enough and should broaden horizons and various opinions like that. So, for context, we performed this pretending we were on a long, thin dinner table whilst eating dinner, and the room was incredibly thin. Like, you could fit 4 people wide,
Hmm.
like standing side by side. But 4 people wide, and I don't know, like 15, 20 people long. Like it was a really long but thin room. It was as like a corridor to connect various rooms within the hotel. So we were on each end of the room, just sitting on a chair each, and we would mime eating, food, and the audience would be stood at our side and between us. that's how it would. But so like just really cramped and intense and just really really fun. And every so often, alongside miming, we'd also comment on the food or like pass the salt or blah blah blah. Anyway, Lucy's character and mine talk about a bunch of countries, and I cannot remember specifically why. It's something about where someone had visited, and or something I remember. And she says something like Istanbul, Algeria, Tunisia, blah 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 blah. However, what she actually said was Algeria, and this was very early on in a 3 to 5 minute scene. And we have to magically perform this in a crowded room of 50 people where she had just said the word Algeria. And it was impossible not to laugh or smile. Or I don't know how we actually continued the scene. But again, you may as well have just been. Everyone was basically sort of touching each other because it's a small room and there's so many of us. And she said Algeria. Like, how do you cope with that?
Did this ever happen in rehearsal?
No, not once.
It just came.
Yeah. And again, at this time as well, we're 16 years old. It's funny now.
Mhm.
It's so funny when you're 16. Like, it's unbelievable. We were incredibly professional, but oh man. But the good thing is we weren't in the next scene. So we sat at our chair, everyone moved on, and then the door closed behind us, and we just started laughing. Like, I just ran to her, we just started laughing and jumping. Like, oh my god, what just happened? Like, it's unbelievable. So, I don't hear Algeria and Tunisia. I just hear Algeria now, and it's
Oh, that's why Tunisia, Algeria,
yes,
Tunisia,
yeah,
Algeria. Right.
yeah. But it's still it's oh my god, it broke us. It's so funny.
Oh dear.
Yeah, so that's
So
my
I
youth
feel
letter
like
story.
the stakes are very high for you. You're offering your youth in many ways to the ancients.
I am, and I'm proud of
It's
it.
sort of the ancient days of Teal. And
I've got so many stories.
is there anything that could top your youth?
Well, maybe, but it'd be nice if I could be like, I've got 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. Are you proud of me, ancients? No. Okay. Fine. What have you got this week?
Well, maybe there is something more tempting to the ancients than your youth.
Is it chocolate?
It is this.
Oh!
Now, for the people tuning in with audio only, you're going to have to explain to them what I am holding.
You're holding a goblet with some handles on it. One might call it a cup, I believe. Some would refer to a drinking vessel.
No, it's a trophy, Teal. Listen to this. Listen. Oh, that's not impressive. I'll do it with a pen. Oh, it's still not impressive.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Oh, hear that?
Yeah.
That's the sound of a trophy.
Yeah.
A most coveted trophy that I have won. The ancients surely will be impressed, and they will allow this as an offering to them.
Yeah,
this is a trophy that I won. How did I win it, Teal?
Swimming. If I remember correctly,
I famously cannot swim.
No, you were
so it's not
the best swimmer in primary school. You did 7 laps. I think you overlapped everyone in your class. Amazing, absolutely incredible. Wasn't that?
I could win a drowning trophy maybe, but I don't think a swimming one. This is a trophy that I won. From the quiz.
Yeah, I know.
From the quiz, Teal. The quiz that you put on the gaming quiz of 2024.
Yes.
I was... sorry, spoilers. I mean, you probably should have watched it by now. If you haven't, though, do go and do that because it's
great.
One of the best things that we do each year.
Yeah, I love it every year.
But I won the 2024 gaming quiz. So, maybe I do know something and I'm not, and I'm just pretending that I don't. Or maybe not, but hopefully
Congratulations. Let me tell
it's such
you.
a coveted prize. I know at
Yeah.
least 4 people who desperately want this.
Yeah, and 5 people who will now not get anything because I don't have any money and I can't buy more trophies for you guys. So you get my admiration and I'll give you big hugs every time I see you, but that's about all I can provide.
See, I think you may have wasted your time on the pottery course that you were doing by not making another trophy.
I was not that good. No, I made a really nice flower pot for my mum for her birthday, um, and uh, and I tried throwing and it went badly. It was 2 hours of me hurting my hand, not making any progress. It was very disappointing, but I loved that course. It was a lot of fun. Um, I I mentioned like swimming, and on the subject of my youth, I'll tell another youth story, I guess.
Oh, you
However
have to one
bad,
up me because my offering was so much
however
better.
however bad a swimmer you think you are, it cannot pale in comparison to what happened to me. So at school, we went to a local swimming centre. This was primary school. I don't know exactly how old I was. I want to say it was year three ish, year three, year four,
Which
maybe even
is what, 6, 7,
7, 8. Yeah, maybe
7,
maybe it
8.
was year two, so maybe it was
Yeah,
6, 7.
7, 8,
Yeah, maybe it
6,
was 6,
7.
7, year two. So I was a little scared of water, um, but we had uh, some kind of like flotation aid to help us move, and we were asked to do backstrokes. So I did. I had the little flotation aid, and I moved my legs so fast so I could move really quickly. But I was quite scared of drowning and water, so I closed my eyes, and I heard loads of people calling my name. So I must be doing good. I must be reaching. I
Teal,
must, I must be
teal,
getting to the end.
teal.
I must be doing really good. I opened my eyes after, it felt like an eternity in hindsight, and I had not moved an inch for, I would say, at least 2 to 3 minutes. Um, and yeah, that's cringe.
Well, Teal, you say that I couldn't possibly
Oh,
be worse at swimming than
did you
you.
actually drown? Like,
Uh, well, yes, actually,
oh, great. Oh,
sort of.
I'm very sorry
I
then.
I took in too much water and I had to then vomit all that water out while we were at the
Oh,
side of the pool.
oh,
And
fun.
then I went off to go and get changed because I'd just been sick. And then the PE teacher came in and was like, "Are you coming back?" And I was like, "Uh, yes." So I then just got. That's how scared of authority I was. But that is not my story.
Uh-huh.
My story is that, and bear in mind, I was 11 maybe at this point. Uh, we were doing swimming in school, and we were in the deep end
Mm.
of the pool, which was terrifying to me because I still couldn't swim. And I tried and I tried and I just couldn't swim. And everybody knew that I couldn't swim. So there was always this kind of thing of like the PE teacher's like, well, what do you do if you have someone that can't swim? They couldn't teach me to swim. They tried, it just didn't work. Um, so whenever I was in the deep end, like it would sort of be like I'd ask my friend like, help me, help me get out if I can't. But we had some kind of, I think we had milk bottles that we were using as flotation devices,
Okay.
which I guess was some kind of survival strategy of like you're not going to find a pool float if you're lost at sea or in
Right,
a
okay.
lake or something.
That would not work
Um,
in Jersey because the milk is in paper cartons. So,
mm. um, and then we had to all swim out, and I tried, but I could not. And then I was the only one left in the pool, and everybody was on the side, and they're
oh,
like, the teacher's like, okay, this is our chance. We can get him to swim out. He's just not trying hard enough. Believe me, in PE, I was always trying hard enough. It just wasn't working for other reasons. So as I tried my hardest, just like you said, kicking my legs as much as I could. In fact, this is probably our problem, Teal. It's a good job that we found each other. We can trade our understanding and find out where our flaws are.
With our butts connected to each other, we can really do some powerful kicks.
Yeah, or we could just drown together and
Yay!
be done with our misery. But as I was the only one left in there, I was kicking away. I was like, I can do this, I can do this. And guess what happened? I moved backwards.
Yay!
And everyone's like, how did you do that? That's not how swimming works. And I somehow managed to make my way to the other side.
Yeah, well, I was gonna say, yeah, you went really far the other way, so you nailed it technically.
Nobody ever was able to tell me what I was doing wrong. So yeah, who knows?
Well,
if anyone out there is listening and wants to kill me and Teal, drowning is probably just throw us both in the canal or something. And
great, thanks.
If you really hate this podcast. Anyway, this is a podcast about gaming. So we should probably move on to that. But before we do that, we're gonna have to
you can do races. Like, a genuine out of curiosity, because I feel like I don't know this answer. Were there any sports you really loved, like growing up, like at school? Or...
I like frisbee, but I don't really think that counts. My favorite thing was when we would play bench ball, which is like when it was raining outside, and they'd be like, "Oh, the weather's too bad to do PE. Let's just get all the kids into the gym." No, you know those wooden benches that you have at school. Well, probably only in the UK, but there's like really, really long benches, wooden benches that have knobbly bits on the side. And when you were in assembly, at least for us, when we were in primary school, when we were in year 6, which is the last year of primary school, you got to sit on the bench at the back, because everyone would sit on the floor. But if you are on the very end, then you have to sit on the knobbly bits, and it's incredibly uncomfortable. But these benches,
I had forgotten about that.
Schools would just use them. You'd use them in PE, like you do gymnastics on them and stuff.
Yeah.
They're not tall. They're very, very short. They're probably about 60 centimeters off the ground.
Yeah, like just above ankle. Like they're really not that tall. Well, no, okay, maybe 2-3 feet. Anyway,
So what bench ball was you would have one of those benches at either side of the gym, and then there'd be a line in the middle, and then you split everyone into 2. You start with one person on each bench, and then everyone from one side is trying to throw the ball to the person on the bench on the other side, and if they catch it, then that person gets to join them on the bench, and you keep going until the whole team is on the bench and they won. And I loved that game, and it was just like, oh no, this game is only relevant if it's raining.
It's so kind of dodgeball-ish.
Yeah, and we also play dodgeball, and it turned out for some reason I was really good at dodgeball. I think it's because I didn't want to be hit by a ball, but I somehow unveiled these amazing dodgeball skills when we played that in secondary school, and everyone was like, "Oh, is Emil actually good at something?"
Yeah, I used to enjoy dodgeball. My biggest problem with that was I was the small kid, so I would get bullied a lot, and by bullied I mean actually physically hit at that point. And it was a very good opportunity for people to just hit me in public in front of everyone. But thankfully, like you, I was actually quite good at dodging, so they didn't really get me that often.
Yeah.
But no, I was good at tennis and badminton. I used to be a great defender of football, and I used to do field hockey, which I used to do a lot of sports. And I used to be half decent at them, and just didn't pursue them, which is a shame, because I got really good at tennis at one point, and I got half decent at hockey. My old friend Paul, he used to be an amazing footballer. I don't think he actually pursued it, but if he did, he would have done something amazing. because he was really good. But anyway, that's off topic. Did we please the ancients?
No,
Oh, oh,
no, the ancients would not allow it.
oh, they were a bit delayed there. That's a shame. Oh no, we failed.
But we had such good offerings to them.
Yeah, and yet
I
it
guess
means nothing.
yeah, it goes to show that winning the gaming quiz each year means nothing,
No,
at least to the
sorry,
ancients.
you didn't win
And
each year.
if not the ancients,
You
I've
have
won
you've won
twice.
twice, but not each year. There have been 4.
Okay.
Actually, have
Well,
there been
I
5?
can't offer the things that
No,
I
there've
didn't
been
win,
there have been 5. We've done 5 of them.
and I've won all 5.
You've not.
And nobody is here to say otherwise.
I am. I host it each year.
No, the ancients would not allow it.
No. Well, talking about games, SimCity 3000 released on February 1st, 1999. Oh, well, what's this? That isn't exactly 25 years ago. Well, fun fact, DLC is not a modern thing, because exactly 25 years ago, on May 26th, SimCity 3000 Unlimited released, an expanded version of the game. Back then, they didn't just give you an extra thing that you could buy and it would just automatically add on. No, you had to buy an entire game again. Yay! That I you should I should be annoyed at it, but I can't speak because Kingdom Hearts has done that and I've bought it, and so has Persona, and I've bought it. So I am a hypocrite. So by all accounts I should hate the concept, but I still don't. But yeah, it basically this edition added, among other things, East Asian and European building sets, additional terrain colors and vegetation types, a snapshot feature, additional music, an improved version of the building architect tool, a pseudo 3D design tool based on cubes, 4 additional disasters such as locusts and space junk, additional landmarks like the Seoul Tower and Helsinki Cathedral, new building rewards, 13 scenarios along with an editor based on Microsoft Access, and a new FMV intro. Pre-made cities were also available, including London and Liverpool for the UK, Berlin with the Berlin Wall, Madison, Madrid, Moscow, and Seoul. So, what is SimCity 3000? It is a city management game. You build a city, you maintain it, you spend billions in preparation for a kaiju attack that may never come. That bit is a small exaggeration, but not by much, because we just mentioned locusts and space junk can occur. Yeah, huge meteor showers can destroy your city. Whirlpools show up nearby if you have like a lake or a sea nearby it, which honestly is pretty awesome. I kind of love it, and it is genuinely a surprise. Like it just happens sometimes, and it's like, oh, I poured all this stuff into this part of the city, and now that's gone. Okay, that's cool. Thanks very much. So the biggest new additions of SimCity 3000 versus its predecessors, which was SimCity 2000, I believe, was farming and agricultural structures were introduced, as was waste management. When the city grows to medium size, waste begins to accumulate and must be disposed of, otherwise you're just going to have a lot of garbage everywhere, just like Birmingham. So it's a very topical joke. To be clear, there is a thing in Birmingham right now where bags of trash are not being picked up because all the bin men and women are on strike. So, to be clear, I'm not saying that Birmingham is a shithole. I'm saying there is a genuine thing right now where bin bags.
It here first, people. Teal thinks Birmingham is a shithole.
Bin bags are not being collected. There are rats on the streets. It's not great. I've never been to Birmingham. Can't speak for it. I've seen pictures. It looks nice when there are not bin bags. But yeah. On Metacritic, it has a score of 77 from critics and 8.5 from players. Lots of praise about how many options there are, with an emphasis on how it can be quite challenging to micromanage everything, but people just love how much there is to just do. Because it is, I mean, like any sim or management or whatever it may be, it's pretty much an endless game as long as you want to keep playing it. It's very impressive. With exception to GamePro, they gave it a 4 out of 10. And to be fair, They have a good point. They say, you like nice graphics, go and buy it. Otherwise, stick with your current copy of SimCity 3000 and save your Cropex for the new crop of exciting releases scheduled to hit stores in the next couple of months. Because this is specifically a review of the unlimited version. But yeah, it's intriguing that they're the only one who gave it below a 7, the only official review. And like, honestly, it's probably quite a brave statement to make at the time, because like SimCity and it was I just want to be sure it was EA, right? I presume. Yeah, Electronic Arts. And developers Maxis. Yeah, like it's they had the monopoly on this kind of game. There was Sid Meier had a thing going at the same time, so it wasn't Civ, it was something else. I can't remember what. But they did have, or maybe they did have Civ, but they had another series as well. So it wasn't, they weren't the only ones there. But EA is such a huge company, and always has been, for going against the grain and saying that is actually quite brave.
And EA was also held in much higher regard back then.
Yes, they sure were.
It wasn't so common to criticize them.
Yeah.
As it is today. Not so brave to dunk on EA these days.
No, that's fair. To their credit, they have gotten better in recent years. And like they've got a good indie scene where they support indie devs and fund them, and yeah, they've done some really cool stuff out of that. Because I mean, I wouldn't say they're fully redeemed, but they're on the way. In the same way, like Capcom are so beloved back when we were kids and now, but 10-15 years ago they had flop after flop after flop, bad decision after bad decision after bad decision. They really, really dropped the ball and were one of the most hated companies, and they've only turned it around because they've actually had to turn it around. So it's whilst it's easy to dunk on a company, and it is right to dunk on a company when they do bad things, it's also important to remember that they are not they can't be redeemed. They can. It depends on what they do and how they react to the criticism. If they double down, fair enough. They're still they hopefully more companies are learning. Oh, we shouldn't do these really bad things because people don't like that. Not even just investors, but actual human beings who would be affected by what we do. Or they don't like. Oh, okay, maybe we should not hurt them. Wow, crazy. But about the game, back to that. People enjoy it. Like they genuinely love it. And claim out of the entire SimCity games, like the franchise, this is the best one, just unquestionably. It's got a very relaxing vibe. Soundtrack's really good. It's a combination of relaxing jazz, but also PS1 demo soundtracks. Like if you've heard the UK PS1 demos, it's not that dissimilar. It's a solid vibe. But yeah, it's fun. It's if it's your kind of thing, it's a good time for sure. I can never get into sim or management games or games like Animal Crossing or whatever. I don't know what it is. I do it for like a week and I just zone out and can't do it again. I don't really know why. And that happens every single time. I really genuinely try and give new ones a go. In the hope that maybe there was something with me at the time that didn't like it and I do now, or maybe that game in particular wasn't the one for me. No, it's just something about me doesn't engage in it much. Which is a shame because I respect the games a lot, but I just can't get into them.
Yeah, I always had assumed that The Sims came out, and then SimCity was a sort of spin-off of The Sims that was about building cities where Sims live. When I was a kid, I didn't put together that they're called Sims because it's a simulation game, and it's SimCity because it's Simulation City. Like, the idea of a simulation game was not something that was in my vocabulary. So I was very surprised to find out that SimCity came before Sims. SimCity was the first big hit from the guy. I've forgotten his name. The guy that made SimCity and The Sims.
If you're looking for an actual name beyond EA, I've not got it for you.
I'm gonna do a quick Google.
Okay, because I don't have that name on hand. Sorry, my research only spread so far apparently.
I'm finding a name and it's not the name that I thought, so maybe I
Right.
don't know what I'm talking about.
This is good. This is the part of the podcast where you get to have some ASMR typing. So I hope you're really. If you want, I can do some clicking.
Apparently, Will Wright. Maybe that's. I just got the name mixed up, and it is. But yeah. So I guess it's because I found out about The Sims first and found out about SimCity later. But
Yeah.
now I think about it, makes a lot more sense that you would start with SimCity and then move on to The Sims, because I imagine it's much more complex dealing
Yeah, I
with
suppose so.
the relationships of people and stuff.
The Sims is so big, like it
Yeah.
overshadows anything the SimCity franchise has done, just because of how big the games are in terms of scale and popularity. I think you just sort of assume that that's what came first because of its popularity.
Mm-hmm.
I think people.
Yeah,
Just
I mean,
generally do
obviously, SimCity is very popular.
of
Like you
course.
said, it's a city builder, but like really, it was the city
Yes,
builder.
for sure. I thought there was some overlap in the respect that like you could move like some things from one game could cross over into another. But I don't know to what extent that is, because I've not done it myself.
Because the Sims has quite an extensive lore, which
so much.
our friend Harper will tell you all
Yeah.
about if we ever.
I mean,
have
we'll get to some of the Sims games at some point. Yeah, like, and I hope you're ready for a 4-hour podcast, because like she will talk about a lot to do with that game, because it has a lot to talk about. Like you would think that, oh, The Sims 2, oh, that, what are you going to talk about? The fact that it was
Yeah, you would think that it was just like a sandbox. You
a
make your own
generational
stories.
sandbox game, sure. And
Yeah.
it's like, oh no, but there's like 20 different versions, and every single version is very, very different. And it's like, okay, what do you mean? It's like, oh, don't worry, Harper, come out. Like, you tell us everything. Like, just like we'll be ready. I'm excited for that day, because yeah, it will be a huge lore dump on Sims. But yeah, it's just really cool. It's a really cool game that I will probably never really get into, because it's just not for me. But I do respect it. Would you like a thesaurus question?
Yes, I would like one.
Excellent. Pregnant cats and dogs.
Pregnant cats and dogs.
Say it.
I want to say something, but I feel like it's maybe slightly offensive to pregnant people.
Say it.
Is it heavy rain?
It 100% is, yes.
Poor pregnant people.
If you type heavy, pregnant comes up. It's heavy rain, yes. I was wondering if you knew it, it would be somewhere in your brain anyway, because I did a Heavy Rain playthrough of Lewis many a moon ago, and the gimmick of that playthrough was introducing it as a different name every single time. I didn't actually. It was originally. I combined two. It was originally Bulky Cats and Dogs and Pregnant Wet Stuff, which Wet Stuff seemed a bit contentious as an alternate version for Rain. Specifically through thesaurusing, but I enjoyed Pregnant Wet Stuff. But yeah, Pregnant Cats and Dogs is what you got.
That's a point for me.
It is.
Applause. Add the applause sound again.
Woo!
You've been adding it every time, right?
No.
Oh.
All right. So, all right. Let's see how.
There's no guest this time.
The next 5 minutes of my
gobble
life.
up the answer before you can get it. So this time you can get it.
Okay.
I've got confidence in
Crash
you two.
Bash. Let's go.
Oh. It actually was Crash Bash.
Was it actually?
No, I'm messing with you.
For a second, I thought, no, it can't be.
It is Axe Champion Chocolatier.
Axe Champion Chocolatier.
Yes.
Interesting.
It is interesting. You love chocolate.
I
so-
do. I'm trying to work out axe. Like, I only know it in one context. I don't know if
Interesting.
there is a second context I need to know
Mhm.
about. That might be a problem then. Let's work on the other one. Champion, you say? Oh, okay. Axe. Is this axe AXE?
Yes.
Okay. There's a second
As in,
meaning for
on
that.
my axe.
Yes, there's a second meaning for that.
Mm.
Interesting. Chocolatier.
Mm-hmm.
Chocolatier is interesting on the basis that I don't know what that would change into. Like,
Would you like a clue?
no, not yet. I'm trying to think. Like, chocolatier is such a specific change.
I'm gonna give you that clue now.
Okay, go on. What's the clue? Go on.
So you know how I said that there's no guest today, so this is your chance to get it.
Mm-hmm.
The clue is you're never gonna get it.
I'm never gonna get it.
No, you'll
I-
never guess.
Have I
because
ever heard of this game?
I don't think you know this game exists.
Okay.
And B, you need some very niche knowledge. One that I don't believe that you have, and another that I don't believe you or anyone would ever piece together.
Okay. Well, with that in mind, is it Charlie and the Chocolate Factory for the PS2?
No.
Okay.
You
can
can get the champion bit, I bet.
Can I have the console or PC or like what is it for?
Okay. I think it was on PS2.
PS2. Okay.
Maybe
Exclusively?
PS. Well, no, it will have been on X. No, it's probably on Xbox 360, which means it's probably on PS3.
Could you?
Let's find out.
No. Okay. Could you tell me what?
Oh, it was on PS2. It was on PS3. It was on Wii. It was on Xbox 360, and it was on PC.
Okay, it's a lot of stuff, but it's on 2 generations, which is interesting. I want to ask what is the other meaning of axe, but I mean that will give it to me, like I presume, or at least it will give me a much grander hint because I think of
It
axe as
definitely
weapon.
will.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is it like guitar something? Is it guitar? Rock of Ages?
Oh, Teal. What's wrong with you, man?
I don't know.
What's the next word?
Champion. I know. Rock.
Oh,
No, it's not rock. Okay, it's Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero.
Guitar Hero Chocolatier. What's the Chocolatier? Okay, so it's Guitar Hero something. Okay. It's gonna be something specific, like a band, because they did do. Okay, I'm gonna list some, but I don't know if this was actually an exclusive band thing or if they were for Guitar Hero. Is it Metallica?
No, but there was a Guitar Hero Metallica.
The Beatles?
No, it was rock band The Beatles.
Right.
Or the Beatles rock band, I think it was.
Okay. Oh no, I'm trying to think of the others. What are the others? Chocolatier though. Like what does that translate into? As a band, like
it's not exactly a thesaurus translation.
Yeah, it's a synonym, but
not exactly.
Right, okay. You're towing the line, okay, but
it might help to think of what a chocolatier is.
In what context?
Well, What does a chocolatier do?
They make chocolate.
What's another word for somebody that makes something?
Craft work.
You're sort of on the right lines.
I can't think of any other band that's like craft or something.
Also,
Minecraft.
I will say
Guitar in
it's-
Minecraft.
no.
Lego Guitar Hero.
There was a Lego rock band.
Oh, okay. I knew there was a Lego something.
It's not chocolate, but it might be a specific chocolate.
Maltesers.
No.
Dairy milk.
You'll get it if you keep guessing chocolate bars.
Okay. Guitar Hero Galaxy.
No.
Mars again.
Nope.
Milky Way.
Nope.
Magic Stars, baby.
Nope.
Guitar Hero Crunchy.
Nope.
Guitar Hero Jaffa Cakes. Let's go.
Nope.
What? It's not that. What are you talking about?
No.
You telling me that Guitar Hero Jaffa Cakes didn't sell 4 million copies? What the
No,
fuck
it
is wrong with
didn't.
you? Guitar Hero Smarties.
No.
Oh, I don't know.
Are you going to have to give up?
Yeah, go on. Just put
You
me on
got
a
so far. It is Guitar Hero Aerosmith.
Oh, okay. I see. I see how you got to Chocolatier from Aerosmith.
Yes. A Smith
Yes.
is somebody that makes something. Aero is a
Yes.
chocolate bar.
I
An
have heard
Aerosmith
of Aerosmith.
would be a chocolatier.
I do not think I have ever heard any of their music.
I'm sure you will have.
Not willingly, I guess, is a
No.
more accurate statement. Like, I've not gone to seek them out. Yeah, fair enough. Very good. I hate you. Very good.
If anybody got that, well done. Please take this trophy.
Axe is guitar.
Yes, Axe is guitar.
Okay. But yeah, I like how I went to guitar and then went immediately to rock instead.
Yeah.
Because I didn't think it was guitar specifically. I thought it was like, oh, it's a term for rock, not guitar
No.
specifically.
Guitar is an axe.
And I was looking for a 3-word game, so I immediately went Rock of Ages. I don't know how it would be that, but that I know
Have you ever
that's...
played Rock of Ages? I remember always seeing it on the Xbox Live store and just never
played it.
like
No.
being like, what is this game? It had a very intriguing cover, but I never even played the demo of it.
I don't know, but no, I've not. But hey, that was good. Thank you very much for your cryptic one. To be fair, I don't think a guest would have got that. So
No, I don't think so.
it's quite obscure, especially not an American guest.
No.
Well, I suppose if they knew the Guitar Hero franchise exquisitely, then yes. But based on...
I just thought it would be really funny for you to finally have a chance to get one and then not actually have a chance of getting one.
That's fair. Well, we like to end our show with some interaction from you. We have an email.
Me?
Gaming takes ages @gmail.com, and we'd love for you to email in with gaming stories and gaming questions and gamings. So, our topic for this one, for this week, given, we looked at SimCity, what is your best and or favourite creation within a game? Something that you have made within a game that you are proud of or found funny or. So, who wants to start?
Well, I know yours is Deviled Egg but Rocks the Joint, right?
Oh, it's not, sorry. It's not that one. No, I used to do a lot of Mario World ROM hacking. I loved using the editor, Lunar Magic, and making levels, and, well, not a full ROM hack, really. They weren't good. However, I made a couple of good things here and there on Mario Maker, things that I'm actually kind of, like, proud of. And I think actually one of the best levels I made was, we did, like, a little level-making contest during an anniversary stream, where we had an hour to make a level each. And it was cool. You made a level that was sort of like the Rayman Origins fish.
I completely forgot about that.
Really?
Yeah.
You forgot? I didn't forget because
When you were saying it just then, I was like, Oh yeah, did I actually finish anything for that?
You did, because you made a level like the Rayman Origins, where like the ice level,
Where
and
the
the
stuff
fish
is
are
falling down,
falling
yeah.
down, or either ice or lava level. I think they both sort of have a similar gimmick. But yeah, like you made that level. And you finished it. It was cool. It was a cool little thing. And I made one where the idea was you immediately got on a like tilted platform, and it goes underneath like the main level in a castle. There's lava everywhere below. It goes like it follows a line, and you have to like there's it's underneath platforms, so you have to move through this maze like level that's trying to slow you down, because you need to keep up with it, so you get on it to cross a huge lava gap at the end. And initially I was like, oh no, I've messed up, because you found a way where you can sort of like get under the level,
Hmm.
and it breaks it. But it turns out it didn't, because like halfway through that section something kills you. I was like, oh, that's gorgeous. Totally unintentional, but that's so perfect. So that was nice.
The cat
Um,
has things to say about that level.
yeah. But no, it was fun. We had just an hour, and I remember it vividly because my mum got an air horn and just started scaring me every so often, which is fun. But I think all of that pales in comparison to Little Big Planet. At age 14, I want to say, our friend Sam and I made an untouchable level. It was called Cat Ramp of Doom. Um, and in Little Big Planet, there is a jet propelled cheetah vehicle. And as you can probably imagine, it moves unbelievably fast, way faster than the engine probably should have allowed it. And guess what? We put a big ramp in front of it, and we sent it flying. The fun, though, there is a tiny bump at the top of the ramp, and the physics makes it fly and jitter very erratically. So the challenge is at the bottom, there's deadly gas everywhere except for one section somewhere in the middle that has the goal, and you have to land in there without being able to see it. And it was just so fun. It had no right to be as fun as it was, and we played it over and over and over again, and it was great. So that's mine. Cat Ramp of Doom, Little Big Planet, age 14. It's probably gone because all the servers are dead. So yeah.
Hooray.
What about you?
Okay, well, so I wasn't really sure what to pick. I've played with a lot of level creators and such in my lifetime. I used to love, especially when I was a kid, whenever a game had a level creator, I'd be like, oh yes, and I'd spend all my time making levels. Um, then Minecraft came along, and I love Minecraft. As you know, I love board games. I have a fairly sizable collection, though modest in comparison to some of the backgrounds I've seen of people on YouTube.
Yeah, that's fair.
Uh, but a problem I have with board games is that most of my friends are online and therefore live in completely different parts of the world, and I can't play board games with them, though I've since sort of found ways to somewhat do that. But at the time, I was playing on a Minecraft server with some friends, and I decided to start making some of my board games that I own on the server. And I had to learn Redstone to do this. If you've never
Hmm.
played Minecraft, you might not know what Redstone is. It's basically like the logic system. It's kind of like coding in a sense. It's you have to like wire things up and use pistons and stuff.
Yeah,
I'm not describing it very
I've
well.
seen some very complicated setups, and I have no idea how they work. I just know
Yeah,
that they're
well,
very
that's
impressive.
what I was like. I didn't really. It was part of the game I just never touched. I was like, I don't really understand this. But when I started making board games, I was like, oh, okay, I have to figure this out. So I did, and I was amazed that I ever did. So I made some of my board games in Minecraft, and my friends loved it. We played them a few times, not not as many as I would have liked for the amount of effort that I put into them. But yeah, people said that it was good because like they've played on Tabletop Simulator, but it's kind of different when you're in the game
Mm.
because I built like big rooms around all these games. So that was one thing that was really good, and I always miss like that server doesn't exist anymore, and I haven't played online with friends in ages, so I've always missed that. So I was gonna go with that, but I think there's one other thing that I've had more fun with in the past, and you know me quite well. So do you think you could guess what that game is?
Ooh. Ooh. Do I know you well enough? Is it Guitar Hero Aerosmith? You create a custom song.
I've never played Guitar Hero Aerosmith.
You can create
Uh,
custom music in some Guitar Heroes, though. I think more
I
modern,
think in
but
Guitar Hero 4 they introduced that. I played around with it a bit, but it was a bit. But there is also like Clone Hero, which most people play now with a lot of custom things.
yeah.
No,
No,
it
it's
was
not
not.
that.
You're not gonna guess what it is.
Okay.
It is Halo 3.
Oh.
So, my sister's boyfriend at the time, when I was probably 14, 15, I don't know how old, he would spend all his time here. So his Xbox was here, and we used to play Halo together. And then one day he showed me the Forge mode that is on Halo. And I was like, oh, I can make my own levels. And then I became absolutely obsessed with that for a few months. And I made all these maps. And my friends used to come around and we would play tag. Like we'd set a timer of like half an hour and then just keep playing. And then whoever was it on, I don't know. There's different terminology based on where you're from of like
It's on
who's
tag.
it,
Yeah.
who's on, yeah. At the end loses. So I'd make all these maps around doing that, and I found ways to make traps and hiding places and stuff. And I had a lot of fun doing that. And I'm sad that I've lost all those things because they were on my sister's boyfriend's profile, and he is not her boyfriend anymore. Yeah, but also now when you were just talking about Mario Maker, I just suddenly remembered Mad Libio Party.
Yes, you made
The Mario Party map I made about Mad Libs.
Yeah, it was great. I did consider mentioning my cursed party board. But that's in the video about we played 75 party games, so
Mm.
you can look at it there. But yeah, no, it's we've made some really cool stuff in like some of your Mario Maker levels were crazy.
I think I only made 3, so
They were
I
long.
started a lot.
What was you made like a ghost house one that took me like an hour.
Yeah, that one was not good because I was on a deadline, so I didn't get to
Right.
test it.
Didn't I break it somehow?
Possibly, I mean, it was not tested.
Yeah,
So
well,
it was very
I
breakable.
feel like I did something really early on that was not supposed to be doable, and you're just like, oh, how did you do that? Oh no, I can't remember what it was though.
I don't know.
It's been so long. It was a good like 3-4 years ago. So
I love Mario Maker. I've been
yeah,
thinking about going back to it recently. I want to go and finish all of the levels that I started.
yeah,
But
it
yes,
is a
Mad
wonderful
Libio
game.
Party. I was really happy with that. I think I made most of it in like most of the art in one day, and I went back and looked at that recently. I was like, how on earth did I make all the art for this one board in one day?
I can tell you how you did that.
Superpower.
You stayed up until 5 or 6 a.m. and only slept 3 hours.
That's unlikely. Is that actually what happened?
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, because you were like trying to desperately finish it. And you sent me the ROM really early in the morning. It was like 6, or it might have even been a tiny bit later than that. And we were scheduled to stream it, I think 11. Maybe it was 12. So like you did get some sleep, but not a huge amount. And I remember because I play music at 8 and then go live properly at 9. And you sent it to me, and it wasn't a ROM file specifically. It was a file that can be used in the editor. I was like, ah, damn it, I have to put it through the editor and make it into a ROM. I'm gonna see a tiny bit of this ahead of it. And I basically was just like trying to menu without looking, like putting my hands over my eyes, be like, I can find the menu, don't have to look at other things, press this button, cool, I've made it. And like, so I did like, and I saw a tiny bit, but I didn't read any of the words. I didn't know what it really was because I couldn't see it properly. And I had to run the ROM to make sure it worked. And so I saw your weird naked crab creature. That was where the master star went on top of the head or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, like I that was all I'd seen, like, because I had to make sure it ran, and the fact that it worked, I was like, great. I knew that worst case scenario, something broke. If something did break, I would just have to do it on stream, and that would be what it is. But it seemed to work, and then it worked fine. So, haha. But no, it was really cool. It was a very, very crazy board, and there was a lot going on. We should make a collaborative board, and invite some people, and
I'd love
like,
to
mess
play
them
that
up.
one board again, but we
Yeah,
all
I'd be
come
down.
up with. Well, I haven't actually explained how it works. So each spot that you would land on would have a verb, an adjective, and a noun, and then you make a story, and then you take out the words, and then you say, okay, a verb has to go here, an adjective here,
Yeah.
and a noun, and so on. So you take whichever one you land on, and then by the end of 20 turns, you fill in the 20 spaces, and you have
Yeah.
a fun story, and it was fun
It was
and
weird.
hilarious, and I'd love to do it again.
Yeah, it was very weird, and very, very funny. Because that wasn't the idea that because you said you had an idea for a board ages like prior,
Mhm.
maybe a year prior, and said, "Oh, it would take ages to make," and then you made this instead. So I still
Yeah.
don't know what that idea is.
No, maybe I'll make it one day,
Interesting.
which is my mantra.
Fair enough. Well, it's cool. We've made a bunch of like just really interesting stuff throughout many games over the years. Like it's something I would like to dabble in, like Fall Guys' editor one day.
Yeah, I forgot that
Because
was
that's
a
got an
thing.
editor now. No, I mean I say now. It's had it for years at this point.
Hmm.
But I've not really seen how it works. It's probably quite easy.
I did play around with it a little bit.
Mm.
I can't really remember much of it though.
I tried. I dabbled with Dreams. Dreams is, for those who don't know, like Media Molecule, who made Little Big Planet. Dreams is effectively, it's not even a level creator. It is a game creator. You can make games in this game, and it is very impressive as a game. But it just didn't do well. It's such a shame that it didn't, because it's really, really good. I think what they should have done was they should have just made it free after a while, or like
Mm.
reduced it to just £5 or something. Just really, really reduced it, because it would have sold a bunch. Or a PC port, that would have done well. But I dabbled with making it and did a couple of tutorials. It's quite intuitive. It's not that difficult if you're used to that kind of thing already, but if you're not, it's quite hard. Like it's the kind of thing I'm not very. I'm just not used to making stuff in a 3D space in any capacity, so it just really messed with me. But I think it's one of those where the more you do it, the more it becomes second nature. But I just couldn't really get used to it. But you can use the controller as like the 6-axis kind of thing, so you use it or like a Wiimote kind of thing, so you can do that. You can also get the PlayStation Move controllers, so you can properly craft things with those if you want, which can be helpful. It's down to preference. What's easiest for the creator, but I appreciate that there is just a lot that you can do. Like there's technically the sky is the limit. Like people, for those that don't know, that with Little Big Planet, it is a 2D level creation tool, and with Little Big Planet 2, people somehow made 3D adventures, text adventures, like full blown like space puzzle games in a 3D space. It's like what? How did you? What? How did you do this? Like how have you made this 2D game 3D? The tools aren't there to do that. How have you done this? So I was always like, okay, if people can do that in Little Big Planet, what are they going to do in Dreams? And yeah, proven correct. There's a lot of really creative stuff in Dreams. It's just that there's not enough players, unfortunately. So it just sort of fell flat, which is a real shame. Especially since the pandemic happened. Like, if they made it free during the pandemic, just for a year, like, that would have been so good. But it is what it is. But, yeah. Do you have anything else to add on this lovely pod?
No,
Okay then, great. Well, next week...
that's the end. Goodbye.
Next week we'll be looking at Perfect Dark and Metal Slug Second Mission. And then the week after that, on Friday, May 30th, we will be looking at Daikatana. Daikatana is a game that people did not like, so that'll be interesting to look at.
Okay.
But yeah, if you'd like to email some personal anecdotes about any of these games, or email a question or two, we would very much appreciate it.
I would like to do that.
Yes. But thank you very much for watching. We'll see you next week.